see in Canto 2, Chapter 9, answers, citing the Lord's version. These are the answers now given by Shukadeva Goswami of all these list of questions that Maharaj Parikshit inquired. And this verse really ties into the first verse of the chapter. Text number 1, Shukadeva Goswami said, "O King, unless one is influenced by the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no meaning to the relationship of the pure soul in pure consciousness with the material body. It is just like a dreamer seeing his own body working." And in the purport, Prabhupada, he brings in the words of I and mine. Therefore, the living entity in his material condition is dreaming falsely that this is mine and this is I. The dream is that the conditioned soul thinks of his material body as I. The Prabhupada also gives the example and says, I don't talk about, because just to separate the soul from the body, the way we talk, we don't say I hand, say my hand. Well, who's the my? Who's the possessor? Who's the one who's claiming proprietorship over this hand? It's my hand. It's not I hand, right? And likewise, everything is like that. It's not I car, it's my car. It's not I wife, it's my wife.
Proprietorship? I'm just teasing.
Well,
I know, I'm just giving, I couldn't resist.
I got it. Anyway, I and mine is the false conception that I am this body and everything I see is mine, basically. But to bring it, that's like that separation, that I don't say this is I body, this is my body. Well, who's the my then? Who's the person claiming proprietorship over this thing? Yeah. So in this text number 2, I will read the Sanskrit. Bahurupa ivabhati mayaya bahu rupaya. Rama mano gune shrasya mamaham iti manyate. Bahurupa ivabhati mayaya bahurupaya mamam matpo guneshvasya mamaham iti manyate. The illusioned living entity appears in so many forms, because this verse also has I and mine in it, so Prabhupada knew that was coming up. The illusioned living entity appears in so many forms which are offered by the material energy. We were just reading this morning, remember? Sudev? Hello? We were reading the same exact thing in the Bhagavad Gita this morning. Remember? The illusioned living entity appears in so many forms which are offered by the external energy of the Lord. And the encaged living entity, while enjoying in the modes of material nature, misconceives thinking in terms of I and mine. I might even try to bring that in there. It's so very, very much the same description. Chapter 18. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just fill in the space a little bit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Now the Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart. This is text number 63, chapter 18. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and directing the wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of material energy. This is a machine, just like you get into the car and you drive the car. Without you getting into the car can't move. Likewise, the body can't move unless the soul is present, like that. So, as soon as the living entity is placed in a particular type of body, he has to work under the spell of that bodily situation. A person seated in a high-speed motor car goes faster than one seated in a slower car, though the living entities, the drivers, may be the same. Similarly, by the order of the Supreme Soul, material nature fashions a particular type of body to a particular type of living entity to work according to his past deeds. The living entity is not independent. One should not think himself independent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The individual is always under his control. Therefore, his duty is to surrender. And that is the injunction of the next verse. Hare Krishna. So these bodies, I and mine, it's created by the modes of material nature. The different forms of living entities are different dresses offered by the illusory external energy of the Lord according to the modes of nature desired to be enjoyed. This is the exact same thing. To be desired to be enjoyed by the living entity. The external material energy is represented by her three modes, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. So even in the material nature, there is a chance of independent choice by the living entity, and according to his choice, the material energy offers him different varieties of material bodies. There are 900,000 varieties of material bodies in the water, 2 million in the vegetable bodies, 1,100,000 worms and reptiles, 1 million forms of birds, 3 million forms of bodies of beasts, different beasts, and 400,000 human forms altogether. There are 8,400,000 varieties of bodies, give or take a few. I added that, but varieties of body in different planets of the universe, not just this planet. And the living entity is traveling by so many transmigrations according to different modes of enjoying spirit within himself. Even if one says, if you want to enjoy in a particular way, that's why there's prescriptions to worship certain demigods if you want to go to the heavenly planets to enjoy it. You have to cultivate that desire. It's not that you just do anything and everything in this material world just without any thought of next life. You have to understand that if you want something, you have to really focus on it. Right? If you want to become anything in this material world, anything substantial or expert in anything, you have to focus on it. You have to make it your full attention. And that goes for the chanting of the Maha Mantra especially. There are so many ways of chanting the Maha Mantra, so many moods, so many attitudes, but it has to be the right attitude and the right mood. And then the right result will take place, and then you will actually go to the spiritual world by chanting holy names. You have to be in the right mood. Enthusiastic too, by the way. Utsaha. Okay. So, so many species of life, and the living entity is traveling in so many transmigrations into different bodies. So that's when it's like helter-skelter, when people don't know anything about the future life, what happens after death and so forth, that mysterious experience that even after I've seen it so many times, it's still extraordinarily mysterious. And I was just talking to this person yesterday, and today we're burning his body at the Jamuna. It's a very kind of a final experience. That really wasn't his body, because it had to be destroyed, because the body was just going to become decayed. And also for other reasons, also that he can move on. Then the ashes we throw in the Jamuna. But it makes it very final when you see that body burning, and you really know the soul is gone. There's no life force there. But still, even after seeing it so many times, we watched it in Manikarnika in Varanasi. We were there for a couple hours at least, right? 3 hours watching body after body being burned. 400 a day. It's just
that
like,
was just in one spot. They had different spots.
yeah, different spots. That wasn't, so it was like, it's just, this is like, and this is like everyday thing. You die and the body's burned. It's just, that's normal. But we don't see that here. Everything is behind closed doors somehow. So we don't get to see that reality.
The natural reaction is like, if you see a dead body and something happens to it, like it gets hit, you still kind of react like, oh, that hurts. But now you're like, oh, they're not in there,
It's
you know?
not there.
But the initial reaction is always like...
like they dropped the body or something.
Yeah, you feel like... like when we drag the cow body, like you're thinking like, they're getting dragged. You kind of feel like that hurts, but like there's no actual life in there, you know?
No, there's no life.
But
It's just a lump of matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Visoda, Lalita. It bothers you though to look at it. Now we're just dragging this body, and she's not feeling anything because she's not there.
But the initial thing is kind of like,
I was counting yesterday how many cows already died here. I think like 6 or 7. You think about, anyway, life goes on, death goes on. And we see the rawness of it. Most people don't get to see that. The difference between the living creature and the one that's left the body. Yeah, when you're dragging Lalita or Yasoda out there, I'm going, but there's no reason to do that because it's just our conditioning to think that she's still feeling something.
Yeah.
Even in one particular body, the living entity changes from childhood to boyhood or girlhood. From boyhood or girlhood to youthhood, from youth to old age, and from old age to another body created by his own actions. It's pretty straightforward, actually. It's pretty straightforward. It's not hard to figure it out. And you really, after you study this for a while and understand it for a while, you realize there's really no other rational explanation. There's just really no other rational explanation. Why is someone born with all these benefits, another person born in poverty and so forth? There has to be some reason for that. It's not haphazard. It's not just a crazy roll of the dice that you happen to get this body or that body. It's all according to what your past deeds and what you did in your last life to which kind of body you get now. The living entity creates his own body by his personal desire, and the external energy of the Lord supplies him the exact form by which he can enjoy his desires to the fullest extent. A tiger wanted to enjoy the blood of another animal, and therefore, by the grace of the Lord, the material energy supplies him the body of a tiger with facilities for enjoying blood from another animal. Similarly, a living entity desires to get a body of a demigod in the higher planets. He can also get it by the grace of the Lord. And if he is intelligent enough, he can desire to get a spiritual body to enjoy the company of the Supreme Lord. So you can get that body. Anybody you want, you can just... but it's not a roll of the dice. You have to desire. There has to be a strong element of desire. It's not just... Otherwise, if you don't have any desire for anything, any kind of body, you're just going to get a body according to exactly to the modes of material nature. That will basically how you behaved in this life is how you're going to get your next body. So if you behave like an animal, and that's as far as you got, then it's better to have an animal body, because then you won't create disturbance in human society. You just become an animal. A tiger, for instance. You want to drink blood. A tiger is like a vampire. See their teeth. Wow. Tiger is a frightening creature. Did you ever hear one? Oh my God! The sound of their voice, so deep and low and frightening. Just like from another planet or something. I was at the zoo one time in Hawaii, and I want to see the tiger, and he let out this. I can't even repeat it. Can't even imitate it. It was like a sound from another world, you know. Scary, really scary. If that fence wasn't there, you know, we'd all be dead. There's no doubt about it. You know. So the minute freedom of the living entity can be fully utilized, and the Lord is so kind that He will award him the same type of body that he desires. It is like dreaming of a golden mountain. Here's the golden mountain again. A person knows that what a mountain is, and he knows what gold is, and out of his desire only he dreams of a golden mountain. When the dream is over, he sees something else in his presence. He finds in his awakened state that there is neither gold nor a mountain, but to speak of a golden mountain. The different positions of the living entities in the material world under the multifarious manifestations of bodies are due to the misconception of mine and I. The karmi, that is a basically just a karmi person who's not interested in being a devotee, thinks of the world as mine, and the jnani thinks, I am everything. The whole material conception of politics, sociology, philanthropy, altruism, etc., conceived of by the conditioned souls, is on the basis of this misconceived I and mine. And this I and mine are products of a strong desire to enjoy material life. Identification with the body and the place where the body is obtained under different conceptions of socialism, nationalism, family affection, and so on and so forth, is all due to forgetfulness of the real nature of the living entity. And the whole misconception of the bewildered living entity can be removed by the association of Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Pariksit, as all this is explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, I don't think enough can be said about one self-study of I and mine, and how that affects everything we do in this world, and how we treat people. You realize, because actually there is no one, there's no other person who is actually mine. That's a kind of a temporary misconception. And that because this is not me also, I'm living in this dream, I see this is a strange situation I'm in. And yet we have to say that sometimes, oh, this is my book. This is my prep. This is the prep I made. See? We still want to use that language because that's the language of conditioned life, and that's the language everybody understands. But in a higher understanding, this is not really my book. I can't do anything with this book except look at it and put it down, and where it goes from that point, I have no idea. It's not mine, really. It stays with the material nature. It's like it was described how Krishna would manifest his pastimes in the material world, and then it would all be dissolved into the material nature again, absorbed into the material nature again. It's like just a play that he performed, and then it's all dissolved and changed, destroyed. They find in Dwarka, they find under the water, they're finding deities and all kinds of beautiful constructions. Have you seen some of that? And they're just amazed at the things that they find in all these intricate designs and actual deities that were just sunk under water, deities of Krishna and Vishnu. So it all gets wound up somehow and gets dissolved back into the material nature for another creation. But Krishna is a fully transcendental person. He says in the Bhagavad Gita this, I have nothing to do with this material energy. It is all under my control, but I am not under its control. So I am creating all these wonderful things, and but it has nothing to do with me. I'm beyond. He's always beyond. In his transcendental, he is eternally situated in his transcendental abode, Lord Sri Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we got through that entire purport.